Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to update your rooted Nexus 6P to the latest and greatest version of Android, which is the September developer preview. Now we're only 2 months away from our device receiving its very last update, security update that is. It won't be receiving Android P anytime soon, but there is good news. We're going to be talking about some Android P ROMs, or just the one that's out currently for our 6P. I'll make another video about that later on, but today is the aim of updating our phone to the September security update. So to get started, there are a few things we need to download as usual. First up is the SDK Platform Tools. Now before you skip ahead, there is a new version that was released for this September, and that is version 28.0.1. So make sure you download the latest version here. So just download it again if you already have it and you're not sure which version it's on. You can definitely check by using adb-version. And if you are running 28.0.0, you do want to get the latest version, because this will solve a lot of problems, believe it or not, if you just have the latest version. So download the one that is right for your platform, so Windows, Mac or Linux. Once you've downloaded that, you can just click on it and this will pop up. And so the next thing you want to download is the latest factory image for the 6P. Now I'm just going to click on the right hand side, click on Angular for Nexus 6P, and just scroll all the way down until we find the latest version here, 8.1 for September. Click on the blue download link. And then we also need the latest version of Magisk. We can use the stable or the latest beta version. And we have had a little bit of a change here between the different threads. The Magisk beta thread, that was a separate thing, is no longer the case. Both stable and beta releases will be released on the main thread. And there will be an experimental one, a new experimental thread coming up soon. But I'll be using the beta version of Magisk. So click on this orange download link to get the latest beta file. And last but not least, there are two things really. So next up is the latest version of TWRP. There was one from last month, I think, or 2 months ago. But you can just head on over to the official TWRP page and click on one of the download links here. And that should bring you to something that looks like this. So just download the latest version here. And once you have that downloaded, I have a couple files here that are left for those who are having the boot loop of death issue. Now if you haven't replaced your device already, I think you should, but if your device still works and it requires these patches, these are the things you want to download. So there are two ways of doing this. You can flash the workaround.zip file in TWRP. Please note that TWRP needs to be patched for you to boot into it, so you can download both those files at Osmosis's Osmod's basket build link. So I'll just highlight them here. You need this zip file if you want to do it that way, and you need TWRP, this one, Angular, my bad. Download the one for Angular, not Bullhead. This one's for the 6P. So if you want to flash the zip file and you want to have a kind of working TWRP, even though you are only on 4 cores, you want to download this. But if you're not having any issues with your phone not booting up and you don't need this patch, you can just go ahead and use the regular TWRP from there, okay? Now there's one more thing. If you don't want to flash the workaround injector and you don't really use TWRP all that often, then I do have an alternative for you, and it is just a patched boot image just for this latest version, the September version of the boot image. So you can download that at my basket build. I'll have a link to that down below. I'll most likely be showing you how to do it through TWRP, but I'll also tell you when you can just flash this image instead. It'll be all around the same time anyways. So I have all the files that I've talked about downloaded here. I'll just go over them once more, just really quickly. So the first one is the factory image. Everyone needs this. The second file here is a patched boot image. Only people who don't want TWRP and are suffering from the boot loop of death, you want to download this image. Next up is the Magisk zip file. You can just download this. Everyone needs this. The workaround injector. Again, this is only if you want to have flash this instead, and this is also related to the 4-core TWRP image. So if you have one or the other, you should probably have both of these as well, unless you don't feel like flashing anything and you want to flash images only. The Platform Tools zip file, which everyone needs, make sure it's up to date once again, and our normal TWRP if you don't suffer from the boot loop of death. So really, we only need maybe 2 or 3 less files here, but you should have something similar to this depending on your use case, okay? So once you have everything downloaded, we need to start extracting a few things. And the first thing we like to extract is the latest Platform Tools. So let's open that zip file and just drag out the Platform Tools folder into our Android folder where we have everything downloaded. Now once that is done, we can close the Platform Tools zip file and we can open the Platform Tools folder in a new window. Let's do that real quick. And from here, so everything is here, right? All our exes, our fastboot A to B stuff. Now in the address bar, you want to type in cmd. Now if you're doing this on a different operating system or you don't fancy using the command prompt window, usually on Linux distributions you should be able to right click anywhere and open a terminal window here. On Windows you can hold shift and right click in an empty space and you can select open PowerShell window here. I'm not sure how you do it on a Mac, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Otherwise you can just change directories manually to wherever these files are. Now the reason why we extract everything is because sometimes if you leave out a few files, some functions don't work properly, namely the make2fs, f2fs, exes. A lot of people had issues back then, including myself, but I guess it's just easier if you extract everything, just to make sure that you have everything that you need. So once you've opened up our command prompt window or terminal window or PowerShell window, you can close the Platform Tools folder and we can go ahead and focus the rest of our energy on the factory image. So we're going to open up the factory image, open up this folder inside the factory image. We're going to be doing it nice and quick today. We're going to extract the image zip file, the bootloader image, and the radio image, and just extract those three files outside. This may take a while since it's quite big, but once that's done, we'll be able to be able to copy files onto our phone in preparation for rerouting it. Okay. So the files that you want to copy over to your phone, it's optional because we can actually sideload them, but we like to do it a bit old school. So we can copy over Magisk or the workaround, the boot loop of death workaround injector zip file. Okay, so I want to copy both those files to my phone. Let me just quickly do that. I'm going to delete the old version of Magisk on my device. So you can see I have the workaround injector here and the Magisk zip file there. So once you've done that, that's good. And it looks like our factory images have extracted, so we can close the factory image zip file. And once that's done, we can reboot our phone into the bootloader. So let's do that on camera. So plug in your device with the USB cable into your computer. Press and hold the power button and tap on restart. And just hold the volume down button while you're at it. Just keep holding it until your phone boots into the bootloader. This may take a while, sometimes maybe 5, 10, 15 seconds, but just keep holding it until your phone shows this lovely screen. And once you're in the screen, we can now go ahead and type in some stuff on our computer. So we have this kind of layout happening. We have stuff on one side and stuff on the other side, just so we can easily access everything. Now the first thing you want to type in to make sure our device is connected properly is the fastboot devices command. So we'll type in fastboot devices and hit enter. You should be able to see your serial number pop up just like that. Okay. Once you have that done, we can now just go through the normal process of flashing the updated bootloader image. So we can type in fastboot flash bootloader, leave a space after the word bootloader and drag in the bootloader image and hit enter. Once you've done that, we need to reboot our phone back into the bootloader and we can type in another simple fastboot command, and that is fastboot reboot-bootloader and hit enter. And we should wait for our phone to turn back on into the bootloader. And once that's so, we can type in the command to flash the radio image. So we type in fastboot flash radio, leave a space after that, and then drag in the radio image like so, and hit enter. Okay, once that's done, we can reboot back into the bootloader once more. Do the same thing. You can press the up arrow key on your keyboard to go to previous commands and hit enter on that. And once our phone is back into the bootloader, and flash the latest images zip file. So to do that, we're going to type in fastboot, and we're going to type in double dash, type in the word skip dash, and then reboot, leave a space after that, and then type in the word update. And then you want to drag in the image zip file, this one, and not our actual factory image. So drag in this one onto our command prompt window and hit enter. Now we're going to wait for this to extract all the files onto our computer, and then it's going to one by one flash them to our device as well, whilst making sure our device doesn't restart automatically afterwards, so we can be sure to reroute our device. So I'm just going to fast forward this until it finishes, and after that we're looking at flashing Magisk again, and I'll be going over some stuff for those who are suffering the boot loop of death. Alrighty, so everything's finished flashing, everything is okay. If you do experience any issues, you can actually reboot your phone back into the bootloader, unplug, replug the USB cable, or try a different port on your computer or a different USB cable, and just run the same fastboot skip-reboot update command again. But once you've flashed everything and everything's okay, we can now get down to business here. So this will be the first segment, and this is if you just want to flash the patched boot image, you're not interested in having a custom recovery. What you can do after flashing the update image, we can type in fastboot flash boot and drag in the patched boot image and flash that. Okay, but maybe you want TWRP working on your boot loop of death Nexus 6P. That's easy too. We need to flash the recovery next anyway. So if you're suffering from the boot loop of death and you want TWRP, you want to flash, of course, the 4-core Angular TWRP with file-based encryption enabled. So you can use this image here that's highlighted. So to do that, in both cases, you can type in fastboot flash recovery and then drag in the suitable recovery image for you. I'll just drag in the patched image for demonstration purposes, but if you don't need it, just flash the normal TWRP image. And once you've done that, we can just reboot our phone into the recovery. So to do that, we'll just go to our phone real quick, and then from here we're going to use the volume buttons to go down to recovery mode and then press the power button here, and our phone should boot into TWRP. Now please note the patched one is actually a few versions behind. You can see the differences in numbers there, and it should still work properly, but if not, you may have to go about patching your own TWRP image. So here it's booting up. You can see this is the file-based encryption patched one at the bottom. So we'll just wait for this to load. We may have to enter our decryption password if your storage is encrypted, or maybe we'll decide to remember the decryption password. But anyways, once you're in the TWRP main menu area, all you have to do here is tap on install, and now we have the two files that we copied over. Now if you didn't flash the patched boot image just prior, you're going to want to flash this workaround injector. So you can swipe to flash that. So this will patch the current boot image to only use the 4 cores that is required for your phone to work properly. Now we'll just let that do its job, and then afterwards you can flash Magisk on top of it. Now a cool thing about this zip file is that it'll actually patch your recovery partition as well. So for whatever reason you got into TWRP, you can actually let it patch your current version of TWRP as well. So once that's done, you can flash Magisk, but if you've already flashed the patched boot image, you probably don't need to do the workaround injector, but you will need to flash Magisk if you want to keep root. So we'll let Magisk do its thing, and then once this is done, we're just going to reboot our system normally. It may take a little bit longer since you have the patched boot image. Excellent. So once you've done all that, we can go ahead and tap on reboot system, and our phone should boot into Android, if not a little bit slowly. But after that, we'll check out CPU-Z and see that our other 4 cores have been turned off, and we'll also check Magisk to make sure that we're still rooted. So I'm going to let this go ahead and boot up, so I'm going to fast forward this until we reach Android. Alrighty, so our phone booted up. I did experience a few issues, but it turns out that the patched boot image that I patched myself wasn't too good, so I just had to redo that, and voila! So everything's booted up properly, and let's just take a look at the stuff while it's finishing its Android update. In the meantime, let's just have a look at our build number, which is always something that we like to do here. So let's just go down and have a look at the build number. We are ending in K1, so we know we are on the September. Okay, it says September up there as well. That's cool. So let's just check on Magisk, and you can see that we have installed the latest version, which is good. We should be able to check our SafetyNet status, and when I was doing the Pixel 2's video earlier this morning, yes, it does pass just like that. So let's just check up on CPU-Z now that we know our phone is rooted with Magisk and all that. let's just load up that program right now, and hopefully we'll see, yes, our last 4 cores stopped, and that means we are using, or at least our boot image is patched, or you flashed the patched zip here correctly. So yeah, we're only using our first 4 cores, so our phone should be working at a slower pace, but at least it's working, right? So yeah, I just want to finish off by saying that if you are still using the patched boot images to make your device work, I strongly recommend that you get a new phone or get it fixed somehow, but probably by getting a new phone, because you don't want to run into the same issues, you know, a couple months down the line after repairing it, because I really fear for your data's safety. And of course, what happens if your phone just decides, you know, to crash and burn on you while you need it in an emergency, right? Because I don't use this phone on a daily basis anymore, only for these updates and for the occasional ROM flashing just to check it out. My phone still works perfectly. It got its IMEI back, which is great, but I don't really see how I could use this phone properly. Well, I need to replace the battery for sure, because it runs out very quick and shuts down at 25%. But yeah, I wouldn't really use the 6P anymore unless, I guess, you'd have no other option for now. But I would definitely have a look at getting a new phone or a different phone. And there are lots of new phones that have come out in a very good price range, so I'd definitely take a look at doing that instead. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. You'll be seeing another 2 months of this, these security updates, before we can say goodbye to those as well. Then if my phone is still alive, we'll probably take a look at some ROMs and things like that for trying to extend your device's lifetime or lifespan. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching once again. If you want to leave any comments, feel free to leave it down below. And also, if you're keen to, you can come and join me over on Discord and we can talk about technology things there or off-topic things. It doesn't really matter. And as always, happy flashing.